Hello guys, so today we're taking a look at the World Boss at the new event and looking at some options for free-to-play players. I'm going to show you a team that doesn't have any limited heroes in it, which means you can get it by being lucky or by grinding mythic shards. And so this team that I am using as an example today is one with 2 mythic heroes and 3 poison heroes here. Actually the team is almost full poison, right? And I think it's very free to play. I know that Willa and Imakato are new heroes and you probably haven't had a long time to try and pull them, but maybe you'll get them, right? And Freud is very nice also, but he's also exclusive 0, so he can be a lot stronger if you had some eyes on him. Now for this boss here, what you need is someone that can either cleanse, remove the buff, the counterattack buff on Heng'e, or use a block buff. Now Nita has a block buff and Xiongmin has a cleanse. He will remove the buff from Heng'e, so that is very nice. Also Xiongmin will also do attack down debuff and defense down debuff, which is irrelevant because we're using poison damage, right? But the attack down is very nice as well. So Willa is using her passive to give us more defense and more attack, and she also heals a bit by her echo. And Imakato is just doing damage and buffing everyone else, and then Freud is protecting everyone using speed buff and attack buff, and we have Nita who is just doing a bit of damage. So this boss here in particular, you want, as I said, you want someone to remove or buff strip the counter attack, and you also want to use a lot of buffs actually, because if you don't have any buffs, then she'll do more damage. You can see it up here. If the target doesn't have any buff, there's a 100% chance to inflict block buff. So you also need someone that can cleanse that block buff, debuff if you get it, and also she's going to remove 1 layer of random buff every time she hits with her basic attack, which means if she has counter attack, she's going to basic all the time. She'll strip all your buffs and give you a block buff, debuff, and in the end. Now, what you also want to know is that she'll also do this damage down here, the constructive impact, which means that she'll do more damage if you don't have any buffs, and she'll remove some of your buffs with her first stage, and then if you don't have any buffs left in the second stage, she's going to deal 50% more damage. So you'll want to have a lot of unique buffs like ally protection, whatever, from Freud, and other like counter the storm blessing from Willa. Stuff like that is what you want. Now for this team in particular, let's just see here how it goes. I do not think that this team is like, it's not a pay to win team. You can definitely get this team, and this is just an example that you can build from, right? You probably have a roster with a lot better heroes, a lot better combinations. Like some of the better heroes would obviously be some of the limited heroes, and you can also use like, yeah, Irato would be nice, Mamelo, you know, all those heroes will be very nice for this content here. Also Murangjing, if you have him at exclusive 3, he can also remove buffs and he'll do a lot of like sustain for your team, so he is awesome as well. Xiao Jun is actually very strong on this boss, and also your typical Indra the Armo team, which is probably one of the other non-pay to win teams that you can use, and which I'll show you in a second. So this team here, you can see here we're taking a lot of damage. She actually hits very hard, despite having a lot of debuffs on her. She has crit down debuff, crit damage down debuff, attack down debuff, and all that stuff, and she still hits very hard. But as you can see here with this team, we are cleansing and blocking her counter attack buff all the time, so we are stopping her from doing additional damage to us, which is nice. Unfortunately, she just hits very hard when she gets like every turn she stacks her buff, and she gets like 50%, I think it is. Yeah, 50% attack every time she's taking a turn. At the beginning of each turn gains 1 layer of that. So, and she's also increasing her damage by 10%, and if she gets to 20 layers, she'll just kill everyone. So that is huge, and that is kind of crazy. But I think this team here can definitely work for a free-to-play kind of team here. You can see it's still going strong. We're still healing up here. You can see that Willa is healing a lot from her echo. Also Freud is doing some healing when he gets his turn. And you can see here that we are almost at 600 million damage after turn 10. And let's just see here. I think we might die in turn 14 to 17. with this team, it's just too much damage. She just stacks it up. You can see it there. She cleanses all our buffs here, buff strips everything, and now we don't really have any buffs. We have a little bit of buffs. Now we have more buffs again, and it's very nice. So let's just see how this turns out. It's going to end in just a few seconds here. I think the next AoE she does, we might wipe. At least if I'm going from the test results damage wise that I saw with this team. I think next time she's gonna do this one and we are dead. So let's see how it goes. But you can see this team is almost doing 1 billion damage. I believe that is pretty good for a team with no limited heroes. And obviously we could definitely make it stronger in every aspect of the team. Okay, so Xiongming is dead, which means that now we cannot strip the buffs and also not keep the attack down debuff up, and so she'll probably kill us in a minute. Now this is actually the best result so far that I've had. Not really sure, yeah, so we got one shot there. You could see she crit us for more than 1,000 million damage, which is more health than we have. And we died here. You can see Willa and Imikado definitely doing a lot more damage than Nita, but Nita is bringing that very crucial block buff debuff, and also putting a debuff on the boss with 50% more poison damage, which is also very nice. So she works very nice for this team. Now the other thing, the other team I just want to show real quick which one you can use is this one. It has a Lydia in it, but it also has a Timmy. He's just there for the he can also buff strip a bit, and also he is there for the attack down and all the other debuffs that he does. So we can see here that this team here, the only pay to win hero here is Lydia, and this team is not even that great. You can see here boss turn 11, which means that I die very early. So definitely, and I mean my gear is okay, but I just think I don't have to sustain in this team. It would probably be better for me if I remove Timmy and put in Muringjing, for example. We can try to do that just to show what Muringjing would mean in this team here. You can definitely see that he is going to improve our damage, I believe. I would believe so. Let's see. Okay, he didn't. That is quite interesting, right? But we get 6 more boss turns, but our damage dropped a lot by removing Timmy. So I'm not really sure. Maybe Dianmo died by getting killed, something like that. Here you can see a little bit more damage, 2700 damage. And here we actually get to the end of the boss turns, 200 turns of our own. But it's not really a lot of damage, right? And we are using 2 pay-to-win heroes here, Lydia and Muringjing, so that is not very free-to-play friendly team. Another one up here is this is not a free-to-play team, but it's just a pay-to-win team. If you have a Rato and you have these guys here, you can use this team, and this team will do a lot of damage, almost 5,000 million damage, and we get to the end of the boss turns. In this team here we have a lot of strong sustain, and we also have a lot of damage. Obviously Erato is pretty broken, so yeah, but that is a pay to win team. I think the free to play team that I just showed in the beginning is the most free to play friendly. If you have a Morikis and a lot of mythic heroes here but no limited heroes, this team can also work. Let me see, we get to boss 20 turn. It's doing 700 million damage. I have seen it get around 900 million with Morikis alone. Now it could be interesting to see if I pulled Lance. I'm going to pull him very soon, and then I put Lance in instead of one of these guys, maybe instead of Ben Austin or Nordak, and see if the damage increases a lot, because Lance can also buff strip the counter attack, and he also does a lot of damage, right? And he has some synergy with Morikis, so that could be a fun combination there to see if we can do some damage with that team. But that is the free to play options that I believe are very strong, that you can build out from. Just take my suggestions into consideration. Find someone that buff strip, someone that block buff, find someone that does a lot of buffing so that you always have a lot of buffs, and get a speed buff. You can also speed down on the boss, so that is very nice. If you have a Santa, he can do speed down, speed up. That is very nice, and also shields, so you have a lot of buffs there. use those kind of teams. Alright guys, let me know in the comments down below which teams you are using, and I hope you have a great night. See you. Bye.